Avoid absolutely unacceptable regrets. In this episode, I'm going to address how to take the wobble out of your life by being balanced on all three legs of life's stool. Get this, or you will likely end up with unacceptable regrets at the end of the day. So I'm Doug Andrew, and I've been primarily viewed as a financial strategist, retirement planning specialist for 48 plus years, and that's fine with me. But a lot of times people would come to me through what I call the financial portal or dimension, and I begin helping them understand how to balance their life, take the wobble out of it, because many times they were just focused about money, and they were unhealthy as a result or what have you. I'm going to explain the differences between people who have true or authentic wealth and those that just have money and they're very unhappy as a result. And you'll be able to understand how you can take the wobble out of your life and that of your loved ones, okay? When people many times say, Doug, what is it that you do? I'll say, well, I help people optimize assets. Now, they immediately think I'm talking about the money. Yep. And so I usually say, well, let's talk about what true or authentic wealth really is. And I might be on an airplane or at a restaurant and I have nothing but a napkin. So I'll pull out a napkin and I'll draw a great big A, which stands for abundance. And I'll say, okay, when we say the word assets, what kinds of things do most people think of first when we say the word assets? And most people will say, well, your money, your house, your cash, your real estate, stocks and bonds and so forth. They go, yep. Now, when you think about it, those are just material possessions, right? They're just things. You're not going to take them with you at the end of the day. There's no luggage racks on hearses. But yeah, most people talk about the financial assets. That's just one leg of a three-legged stool. I'm going to rephrase the question this way. I'm just using a different tone. So what are the most important assets that you value, that you cherish, that you possess on this earth? Now, they know I'm not talking about money. And they will usually say, well, it's family or health or values. Yeah, these involve people. So we call these human assets. They are our core assets. So I put these under the foundational assets for abundant living. They would include your well-being, spirituality, talents, future heritage, character, friends, charitable foundations, and on and on and on. There is a third dimension or third leg of this three-legged stool that involves the wisdom that we gain throughout our life, and that's our intellectual assets. Now, wisdom is a product of what? Knowledge times experiences, and not just the good ones. I've actually learned more from my bad experiences in life. I'm sure you have too. That gives us wisdom. It would be our formal education, reputation, systems, methods, traditions, alliances, ideas, and skills. Okay. These are the three dimensions of authentic wealth. It's like a three-legged stool. What happens is all too often, I have seen people accumulate, $1 million, $10 million or, build this empire, and they accumulated their financial wealth, this dimension, at the expense of their health. And then later in life, they're spending all their wealth trying to regain their health. Or maybe they accumulated their financial wealth at the expense of relationships, okay? With their spouse, their kids, their grandkids, their God, whatever their belief is of a higher power. And they always say to me at the end of the day when they have all these millions, Doug, what was all this for? I'm not going to take this money with me when I die. I often say there are two affluent guys that died and went to the pearly gates. And one turned to the other and said, man, how much did you leave behind? The other one said, all of it. You don't take it with you at the end of the day, okay? So why is it that we focus on the least important category on the family balance sheet, the money? Well, you can rebuild that category by using these other two. So when I talk about these, many times I will ask people, okay, let's be honest. If you had to bankrupt one of these three categories of assets, you had to let it go and start all over, accumulating this one, or this one. You had to let go of one of the three, but you could keep the other two. Not only could you keep the other two categories, but you could transfer them into future generations. But you had to bankrupt or let go of one and start all over. Which one would you let go of? Now, abundant-minded people immediately say, the money. Yeah. Why would you let go of the money? Because you can rebuild this one using the other two. You know, most religions believe we come to this earth possessing these assets to one degree or another. If you believe in a life after this one, these are the ones you return to your maker and report on. Have you ever figured out how to take the money with you when you die? No. There's no luggage racks on hearses. So folks, these are the three dimensions. And so many times when people would come to me, they might have a lot of money, but they were bankrupt in these two areas. Or I know people that are bodybuilders, and they go around and show their trophies. Look at this. And 3 weeks after they've won their trophy, they are in a fit of depression because they hit their goal. And they're ready to take their life because they're bankrupt in other areas because their whole life was out of balance. It was focused on the body, the physique. And it was so out of whack, they only focused on that instead of these others. You see this with professional athletes that are pretty soon bankrupt here because they're bankrupt here. Does that make any sense? So, when we talk about life being a three-legged stool or these three dimensions, a lot of people are out of balance. Now, if this is resonating with you, stay with me. I'm going to blow you away next here. But I want you to subscribe to this channel. Why? Because I have over 730 educational episodes, and I post a new one almost on a daily basis. This is about you and your abundant future life. It's not about me. And so it's free to subscribe, and when you do, click that little bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new educational video, which I do almost on a daily basis. But click like, post a comment, share with somebody else who ought to watch this, okay? But stay with me to the end. I want to gift you a copy of one of my books that will help you connect the dots here. So some people, like I said, accumulate their financial wealth at the expense of their health or relationships or whatever, and then they regret it at the end of the day. I told you at the beginning of this episode, I want you to avoid absolutely unacceptable regrets by the end of your life by not being out of whack, not being out of balance, and getting back into balance by doing this. And this is what I'm passionate about helping people like you with. Let me say this, that as you do this and you begin to get balance in all these areas, okay, this is where you can be able to understand how to redirect otherwise payable taxes to causes you support with ownership. You can then be able to have knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits, which is an acronym, KASH, knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. That KASH is more important than leaving behind the CASH to your family. You'll leave behind how to fish instead of dumping fish in their lap. And so we call this the KASH fund, KASH. This is what we call a family bank, okay? And so as you do this, it's covering all three dimensions. But see, I want to leave behind experiences, both good and bad, to my posterity. What I believe in, what we stand for, rather than just money, which oftentimes you dump it in their laps, it just ruins them, and they get this entitlement mindset. Oh, when do I get my share? Can I have, will you pay for? I see this all the time with people who have money, but their kids are sort of entitled. And so I wrote the book called Entitlement, Abolition. But what you want to be is balanced, healthy, wealthy, and wise in all three dimensions. Then you will learn how to live, love, learn, give, and earn. And my wife and I, we have 6 children and 20 grandkids. We have family vacations with a purpose. We have annual grandpa's camps. We teach this to our kids and grandkids. We teach this to our employees. This is what I want to teach you, and you can learn about it in my book, Entitlement, Abolition. When you are balanced in your life, and this is the three-dimensional approach, and you understand that this is what true or authentic wealth is, because you have these legacy dimensions, the intellectual and foundational assets, balanced with your financial assets. You will leave behind knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits, how to fish instead of dumping fish. So there's a lot of episodes on this channel that talk about why that's more important than the CASH. But why do you do this? Because you will have greater clarity, balance, focus, and confidence. When people ask me, Doug, what is it you're selling? I go, clarity, balance, focus, and confidence. Why? Because when people have clarity about how to balance their life and what life is all about at the end of the day, it gives them unlimited energy. So when you have clarity, you have energy. I love to energize people. Second is what? Balance. What I've been talking about in this episode. When you have balance, you take the wobble out of your life. If you're going down the highway out of balance, you're wobbling. You take the wobble out, that increases the velocity in which you achieve your destination, your brighter future, okay? So help your kids and grandkids, those that you care about, take the wobble out of their life, and they will get to their goals faster. Now, the third is focus. Focus on what matters most. I can't believe how many college graduates I have interviewed that don't know how to prioritize. That's another episode on this channel. You need to focus on what matters most. And when you do that, that increases the accuracy in which you achieve your goals and your vision for your brighter future. And with clarity, balance, and focus, you'll have much greater confidence. Now, confidence is the greatest gift I can give to anyone. I want to give it to you. Why? Because confidence attracts opportunities. Lack of confidence repels opportunities, okay? And so I want you to have unlimited opportunities. So many people have opportunities, but they can't see them because they view life as challenging instead of full of opportunities. You can flip that for those that you care about. So how do you do that? I want to gift you a copy of this book, okay? This isn't about selling you a book. I want to give you this. This is my 11th book. It's called Entitlement, Abolition, and how to lead your family or your employees, whoever, from me to we. It's 12 chapters, 200 pages, and this is the beginning of your brighter future to take the wobble out of your life. And you simply go to entitlementabolitionbook.com and you can claim your free copy, entitlementabolitionbook.com. Click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling, and I'll cover the rest of that cost. I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you, but there's options there if you want to listen and learn or watch and learn. There's even an 18-hour masterclass you can invest in that people love if this is resonating with you. But check out some of our virtual events, which we do on a regular basis, and sometimes we do live events in your city. So check it out when you go in to claim your free copy. But this will help you take the wobble out of your life so that you will not have absolutely unacceptable regrets at the end of the day.